Hello student, I hope with the God grace everyone is staying safe and healthy at home. Today we are going to see the part 2 video of production in civics part. A small recall, the previous production session, what we learned is meaning of production and what is the meaning of utility, types of utility and types of production. In types of utility, we saw form utility, place utility, time utility. In types of production, we saw primary production, secondary production, tertiary production. Today's learning objective of production are to well understand about the characteristics of factors of production. Do you know, student? The father of economics is Adam Smith, and his economics is wealth economics. He wrote two classic works called The Theory of Moral Sentiment in 1759 and An Inquiry into the Nature and Cause of the Wealth of Nation in 1776. And you know, Indian economy is a mixed economy, which means the private and public sector are existing together and ensures the development of Indian economy. Coming to the point, factors of production. Where there is a production, a process of transformation takes place. The inputs are converted into the output. The inputs are classified and referred as a land, labor and capital. Now one more factor added in this, like entrepreneurship, because the goods and service do not produce themselves, but in order to plan and implement manufacture. So this thought process is often called entrepreneurship and organization. The factors of production is divided into two: primary factor and derived factor. Primary factor nothing but the land and the labor. These are naturally given and without them no goods can be produced. And the derived factors are classified into capital and organization. Now we are going to learn more on the factors of production. First, land. You know well, land is a nature gift. So it has some characteristics its own. If you see the characteristic, first we refer, land is a free gift of nature. So it exists even long before the evolution of man. Second, land is fixed in supply. The total quantity of land does not undergo any change. It is limited. Third, land is imperishable, which means we cannot destroy the land. Land is indestructible. Fourth one is land is a primary factor of production. You know well, any of the production process, we have to start with the land. Without land, we cannot do anything. So even in the primary sector, land is a very essential for all to get the raw materials. So land is an essential one for all kind of production. Fifth, land is immovable. We cannot be transferred from one place to another. This is a fact. Sixth is land has some original indestructible power, which means it has own fertility level which the man can destroy it. But it may be varied from place to place. Seventh is land differs in fertility on different place of land. One piece of land may produce more and other is less. Next we are going to see about the labor. Is a human input into the production process. In simple word, work. Alfred Marshall, an economist, defined the labor as the use of body or mind, partially or wholly, with a view to secure an income path from the pleasure derived from the work. If we take the characteristic of labor is more perishable. Labor can either be postponed nor accumulate for the next day, so it will perishable. Labor is an active factor of production. Labor is not homogeneous, which means they doesn't have a same kind of skill. It will differ from person to person. Labor cannot be separate from the laborer. Labor is movable. Individual labor has only limited bargaining power. However, when workers combine to form trade union, the bargaining power of labor is increased. I hope so you would have understand the labor and then its characteristics. Now we move on to the division of labor. In simple word, if we say the division of labor, the process of production into distinct and several component process. For example, if we take the large scale industries like garment exporters, cutting of cloth, it takes place in one department, and stitching of hand, stitching of button, and making collars, so etc. Like it takes a different departments will undertake this process, and finally the whole shirt will join in another department. So the work is divided into various level, so which is called the division of labor. This concept, division of labor, was introduced by the Adam Smith, a father of economics, in his book An Enquiry in the Nature and Cause of Wealth of Nation. Division of labor takes place an important role in the production. Now we are going to see what are the merits and demerits of the division of labor. First we see the merits. It improves the efficiency of labor, and it results in invention in the same kind of production, and time and materials are put to the best and most efficient use. If you see the demerits of division of labor, the repetition of the same task maker labor to feel somewhat boredom in the work. It's a kind of monotonous work, and narrow specialization. There is nothing to think beyond their work. This results in increased unemployment and reduce the growth of handicrafts. Because they are only depending on the machineries. Due to this one-time point, the workers loses their satisfaction of work, so they feel boredom in their work. Next, we see the capital. In simple term, we call it as money. Capital means money. So according to Marshall, the capital consists of those kind of wealth other than free gifts of nature which yield income. He is mentioning there not only the nature gift, only the capital, and also the man-made wealth. The money also is a kind of capital. The capital can be divided into three forms. First is physical capital or material capital. For example, machineries, tools, building, etc. Second, money capital or monetary resources. For example, bank deposits, shares, and securities, etc. Third one is human capital or human resources. Example, investment in education, training, and health. Let me check the characteristics of capital. Definitely the capital is man-made. Capital has highest mobility. Capital is productivity. Capital lasts over time. Capital involves present sacrifice to get the future benefits. These are the some important characteristics of capital. Finally, we are going to see the entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur is a person who combines the different factors of production, even by land, labor, or capital. The entrepreneur is also called the organizer. In modern times, the entrepreneur is called the changing agent of the society. Now we see the characteristics of entrepreneur. Identifying profitable investable opportunity, deciding the location of the production unit, making innovations, deciding the reward payment, taking risk and facing uncertainties. Now we come to an end of the session. From this lesson I have attached the new words and its meaning. Kindly go through well and write down each word with meaning 5 times in your classwork. And also try to answer for the questions in assignment part. Thank you. Till then, signing off, your Lakshmi ma'am.